so this was highly requested. I've seen this come up a lot. Yeah. So I've seen this come up a lot. So with Selena Gomez. Can you... Can you pronounce that?
De una vez.
Hey.
By Selena Gomez. Hey, it rhymes.
See what she got.
You got the subbies on?
The subtitles are on, yep.
Oh, her heart's turning hard. Or cold.
Ya no duele como antes, no. La herida de tu amor sanó de una vez por todas. Soy más fuerte sola.
Yo, I think she got the lamps from your house, no?
Right? Oh my God, that was sick. You see that?
Soy más fuerte sola. Es que no me arrepiento del pasado. Sé que el tiempo a tu lado cortó mis alas. Pero ahora este pecho es antibalas. No te tengo a ti, me tengo a mí. No es para que pienses que esto es patina. Yo me fui para que no se te olvide que una muerte como tú se revive. Cuando se seque el último mar, es cuando pensaré en regresar. Está sobreentendido lo que siento. Ya no estás, qué bueno es el tiempo. Estoy curada de ti, te dije ya. Ya no te siento aquí, no te siento ya. Nunca supiste, no me supiste valorar. Y de una vez por todas soy más fuerte sola. Es que no me arrepiento del pasado. Sé que el tiempo a tu lado cortó mis alas. Pero ahora este pecho es antibalas.
Oh, I like that line where she's like, the time I spent with you were like my wings getting
Cut off.
cut off. Essentially saying like she didn't feel free. She felt like trapped in that relationship. And I like how she says like she doesn't regret the past and she's actually stronger because of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that wing line because I think about like birds in general and how people cut off their wings so that they can't fly. And I love the comparison because it's very relatable in relationships where sometimes I don't think people realize how relationships can be so trapping. Like not just like romantic relationships, but just like friendships, family relationships, like, you know, relationships at work.
Yeah. Yeah, and like even like the heart in the beginning, how you said it was freezing, and now our heart like has some light, which I think represents like it's healing, right? So it started in this like frozen or cold state, and now it's
Bulletproof.
right. We're like cold. A lot of times people refer that cold to death because you get cold when you die, right? And then that light represents heat, which also represents like life. So like that light in that heart represents like that moving on and that healing of the heart. That room though, there's a lot of suitcases there now.
It symbolizes all her baggage.
I like that part. So like you see how the heart is being closed up into that gold shield. Gold obviously representing that precious metal. And then also being wrapped in a gift, because when you give someone your heart, it's essentially a gift and it's also precious, which is the reason why she used the gold, because it's the most precious metal that you can think of, right? So shielding the heart, also with representing that it's precious and a gift to give. So I like
I
how
love
it
that
closed up towards the
interpretation.
end.
And also like how all her baggage was lifted from whatever that was. And I think it's just like symbolizing like all the storms that we all have to navigate through. And in a way, that storm helped her because it cleared away like all the shit that was really holding her down, keeping her from leaving this house, which I think this house just represents this mental entrapment of whatever past relationship that she finally doesn't regret.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think that storm, like essentially, like it was all chaotic. It was a fucking mess. It was a disaster, right? And that storm, like, is the beginning of the cleaning, right?
Yeah.
So, like, that kind of essentially cleans out the mess, which is ironic because the storm usually is destructive and chaotic, but it's also the beginning of having a cleaner house. So when she kind of like now she's like in like a clean room, it's just empty, so there's no baggage, essentially, and then she walks out with that sense of freedom. So I think the video is very. There's so much to interpret in the video.
It was so well thought out.
Yeah.
And I think this is the first Spanish song she's created, or at least that I've heard her do. And it's really dope that she had like the traditional dress on. I think it also, I think, plays a huge part in her being able to feel the way she feels and feel strong because she's kind of like wearing something that represents her,
Yeah,
which
no,
is her tradition.
I agree with that. I was just gonna say, I think she's like that was her way of embracing her heritage and like bringing that into the video, and then like potentially like even the house, right? So that's not a house that I've seen in the States, right? So like I don't know if the house, the curtains, even the style of the lamps, all that seemed to be like unmodern and just like
I've seen a house like that.
like that.
Yeah.
Not talking about those makeshift houses over in Chinatown either.
And if you think about it, like this house represents nature almost because you have the green on the bottom, which represents grass. And then the wood literally represents trees and it looks like trees.
That was a good catch, yeah. I agree.
And then the flower curtains